Are you afraid of the Nuggets, Mego, after what went down last night and Tatum pooped his pants again? Not just in the fourth quarter. This was a horrendous showing from Tatum last night.
Game-long pooping.
It was, he missed a wide-open shot in the corner with 45 seconds left, and he didn't have to take the shot. I'm happy he took the shot. He's wide open, but the Celtics have numbers. They were in transition. They were on the break. White kicks it out to him. He's wide open, and he bricks a shot. He had missed a free throw prior to that in the final 2 minutes. That didn't help because maybe you don't need to chase a three at the end of the game. If you knock down a free throw, maybe it changes the whole outlook of the game. Celtics missed 1 million free throws last night. He had 5 of their 12 turnovers. What are your thoughts on Tatum? How do you feel about the Nuggets?
I've been afraid of the Nuggets. I really have. I think maybe last night was eye-opening for some people, but to me, it just made me double down on you have to have some respect for the West when you're looking at the Celtics' chances in the finals. Nobody out there can guard Jokic. Nobody on your team could handle Jokic. Porzingis certainly couldn't. The Celtics they outshot Denver from the three-point line. People will say, well, the Celtics didn't shoot their best from the three-point line. Denver shot 19% from the three-point line, and they're not usually a dismal three-point shooting team. Tatum can't figure out how to step up to these big boys. And to me, he looked like Tatum from the 22 finals. He really did. And I don't think in a 7-game series, that's who Tatum's going to be. But I remain afraid of Denver. I've been afraid of them all year. Last night was a good reminder maybe to the Celtics that there's still a lot of work left.
Okay, so I just want to push back on something you said. I do respect the Nuggets. I said that earlier this week.
But I'm afraid of them.
Yeah, but I don't have to respect the West. You said respect the West. I don't have to respect the West.
There's teams out there that can hang with you, if not outright beat you.
But I said I respect the Nuggets. I never had the Nuggets off my list.
This isn't completely about you.
No.
There's this narrative across the city of nobody can beat the Celtics. The Celtics are the team of destiny.
Fine.
The Celtics have to win now. There are serious teams out West.
There's a serious team, and it's the team you saw last night, and I respect them. I don't respect the Thunder. I don't respect the Wolves.
Are you afraid of them?
No, I'm not afraid of the Nuggets. I'm not. The Celtics have shown they can hang with them. Now, look, they could definitely lose to that team, and I respect Denver.
Yeah, they have this entire season.
Denver has championship pedigree. They've won. And so you can't keep crapping your pants in clutch and late. But I do feel like last night was more about the Celtics again. And not to, completely ignore the Nuggets and their championship and everything else. But the 12 turnovers, Tatum was horrendously bad last night.
2022. Okay. 2022 all over again. These are the same issues. The only difference to me is
so the issue is the Celtics.
You have Porzingis and you have Drew Holiday out there who actually look good in the fourth.
Yeah.
Those are the guys on the team that look good in the fourth. Everybody else is the same to me. Jalen, I kind of love Jalen these days because Jalen is...
Do you love him at the free throw line?
So good, so physical, has entered this era, this chapter of his career where he has his money and he kind of doesn't give an F about anybody, but is so sloppy. So I feel like I just had to accept that he's not afraid of these other teams and he's going to run with a head full of steam, but you can't depend on him to make free throws.
Yeah. So again, to answer the question, no, I'm not afraid of the Nuggets. I'm not. The Nuggets could beat them. I'm not saying they can't. I'm picking the Celtics to win. I'm not backing away from that. The Celtics are the best team in the league.
So you didn't learn anything about last night? You don't feel any different about the Celtics?
No, I learned they still suck in clutch and late, and they've done that all year. They've done that for 3 or 4 years. They have to get that cleaned up. If they don't, they won't win. But that's about them. That's not about who they're playing.
How about Tatum?
They do that against the Cavs.
Do you still feel like Tatum's going to be a top 3 finisher in the MVP race?
So he will not win the MVP. I don't know if he's going to finish top 3. He's not winning the MVP.
Well, I think we had both agreed on that. What we had set a bet on was the top 3.
Yeah, well, he's not winning the MVP. That's clear. Could he finish in the
top 3?
What about the top 3? Yeah, I'm not. I don't know. What do you want me to say?
Have you backed down from that at all?
No, I'm not. What, you want me to concede the bet?
No, I'm not saying concede the bet. I'm asking where you're at today. I don't know why you're dancing around it.
I'm not dancing around anything.
Top 3 finisher in the MVP race.
Are you not listening? I just said yes. I think he can finish in the top 3. He won't win the MVP. He lost the MVP these last 2 games. So just listen. Arkan, are you picking the Nuggets, yes or no? Or are you afraid of the Nuggets, rather?
I'm afraid of the Nuggets, but I'm really afraid of the Celtics is what it is. And I think the Nuggets are one of the teams that can take advantage of the Celtics when they come up small at the end of the games. There's a bunch of teams out there that the Celtics, I think, in a back-and-forth game like that, could still overcome. Even with Tatum having a bad game, they could still beat, at a bad example, but like Milwaukee or Cleveland or the Knicks or one of these other teams in the Eastern Conference. There's a couple of teams that I think if the Celtics are hurting themselves the way they did in that game last night and the way they did against Cleveland too, that they can take advantage of it in a series and win that series. I think Denver's one of those teams for sure. They have the experience. They have an unstoppable force there who you just can't guard them no matter what you do. Nobody could guard him last night in Jokic. And I just think that, there's something to be said for the consistency of what that team does and what Jokic does and what Tatum doesn't necessarily do in big spots. And that's just becoming harder and harder to ignore. And it wasn't always like this for Tatum. I think he's getting worse. I think he's getting worse in these situations.
We told you over the last however many years yesterday, we were reading all the Tim Bontemps numbers. I know that Mego has some updated numbers as well, but he's been horrible. So to me, that's not about the Nuggets. He was horrible against Cleveland. That's about Tatum and the Celtics. And if they don't figure that out, they're screwed. Here's Tatum about matching up on the big stage, trying to match up with the Jokic's of the world, the other premier players of the world, MVP candidates. Here's what he said last night.
How do you come away when you don't have maybe your best game?
Yeah, I'm not trying to make it about myself or necessarily individual matchup, right? That's not the way our team is set up. Sometimes it's just the flow of the game. It is your night. You are getting more shots or whatever. But we just got such a well-balanced team that it might not necessarily be your night. Other guys may have it going, and you have to respect that. I say all the time, we talk about respecting each other's space and understanding the flow of the game. So it's not upon me to like hijack the game and try to make it about me and it's a national TV game. Other guys had it going, so if I had to be in the corner, if I had to be a facilitator at times, so be it.
Okay. I don't like that answer from Tatum. Like, no, you need to take over the game at times. You're supposed to be an MVP candidate. You think you're the best player in the league. You need to take the game over at points. And last night he struggled. The turnovers were brutal. Never mind the wide open shot in the fourth quarter. So again, are you afraid? Are you afraid of the Nuggets? 617-779-7937. Right now, 61% say yes. Hiding in the corner, afraid of the Denver Nuggets. To me, it's about the Celtics. If they don't get it figured out in the clutch, they're screwed, and they'll be screwed against Miami or other teams. So Tatum needs to get that right. You don't think he's a top 3 guy in the MVP candidacy, Mego?
I haven't all year. No, I don't think this is his year. It's not like based on performances like last night. Although when you look at voters and their big stages like that, I do think that matters. But overall, like Tatum, this is not his MVP year. And what you just played, I think what annoys me about that is that it's Tatum trying to bring up the Lammies again. He's trying to act like he's sacrificing last night for the rest of the team and being deferential, when really it's like he wasn't hitting the shots and the opportunities that he had him. He was shooting poorly last night, and then at other points he disappeared and he turned the ball over. That's not sacrifice to me. So it's one thing to say, like everybody was saying last week and the week before, wow, Jason Tatum should get more notice for just growing into a leader and being this great team player that he is. Yeah, but on the other side, it's just okay to sit there and go, he had a crap night last night. It was not because he was sacrificing and letting other guys have the ball. He was playing poorly last night.
And he
wasn't up to the task last night.
No, he wasn't.
Tatum's not good. Stop it.
He needs a moment at the end of one of these games. Even against a crappy team, he needs it. Absolutely needs it. So who's the top 3 then in the MVP? If it's not Tatum in there, who is it?
Well, we got to take Embiid out because he's not even qualified. So I would go Jokic. Absolutely.
I would say he's in there.
SGA, which you probably hate. And then 3, it may be Giannis.
I think Giannis. So Luka has the 3rd best odds, is what Ryan's saying.
Yeah,
I think Giannis.
He also had an amazing comeback against the Heat the game before national TV, so that's going to help too.
Yeah,
and
Tatum beat him.
I gotta say,
ago.
I'm pretty anti-Luka just because that team doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And so it irritates me that he's in the conversation every year. I'm going to say Giannis.
Giannis, okay. 617-779-7937. Did he lose it last night? The MVP. That, I think. He can still sneak in the top 3. Like, I think my bet's still in play, but he ain't winning. The bet I made 2 months ago when he was plus 5,000 for MVP, that thing's down the toilet.